Art is subjective. There's many forms of art. My favorite just so happens to be cinema. It is in fact an art form. It takes talent and time and effort. There are some amazing titles out there that stay with us long after we're gone. The power of movies can bring us all sorts of emotions, happiness to sadness, feeling scared or excited. There are many genres in this field: drama, comedy, thrillers, and horror. Now we're going to discuss how the originals are enough to stand alone and be remembered without its more previous sequels. Many titles such as Batman 1989 and Psycho 1960, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Neverending Story, Halloween, just to name a few. All amazing films, and they all share something in common. Its popularity keeps the audience wanting more. The classic films that we love so much remain in our hearts and stand the test of time. They first are the perfect example of that statement that cinema is an art. The story has a beginning, following a middle, and leaving us with an end wanting more. But with the ongoing sequels, it doesn't seem to have an end, or an end that can measure up to the one that was in the first film. As the sequels keep coming, they add new content to keep the story fresh. As much as we'd love seeing that old story return with its characters, it's nothing more than a watered-down version of itself, and eventually lose sight of what made that film so special in the first place. Now, there is few occasions where the sequel does improve the story, and in that case I'm all in for it. But the chances of that final product being as good as the first is very slim. I am now and always have been a firm believer that if the movie accomplishes its story within one film, it doesn't need anything expanding from it. And I understand that it is exciting to be brought back into that world that you're familiar with and that you love and grew up watching due to the nostalgia it has for you. But along with the sequels usually comes a new cast, new direction behind the camera, and they tend to bring overthought ideas that taint the storyline that once started off so strong. Again, in very few cases, a sequel does in fact improve the story and gives the lead characters more screen time and character development. In those cases, I welcome the sequel. And due to the lengthy franchise, it goes on so long that it's so dulled down and tired at that point that sometimes maybe a reboot is necessary. And some reboots I've actually quite enjoyed and have washed the dirty taste out of our mouths from the last installments. And there's some studios that you can really tell care for their project they're working on. That's one of the key ingredients to a successful, great film. And if you don't care about it, or if you're not passionate about what you're doing or working on, you end up with something that's lackluster and half-assed. Now, as I said, the power of cinema can be very great and memorable and stand the test of time, but yet you want it to stand the test of time as something you remember that you love, not something that you hate or despise. And that's not what film should be. It should be something that is taken seriously and devoted for. And after all this money is put into something, and all this money is given towards it to see the film, at the very least, take your time, don't rush, and if you don't care about the source material or the project, then just don't be a part of it. Filmmaking is a craft, and will always be known as such, so don't tarnish that title of it being an art form, and making so many crappy sequels and films just for money's sake, or popularity. Do it because you're passionate and love working on films. And there's so much potential and possibilities out there. The people behind the camera are very fortunate to have this chance to shine and create something special, and it shouldn't just be taken advantage of. You see all these big budget films and all these big explosions, but very little story. That's one thing I've always loved about indie films so much, is that they work with what they're given and they compensate and try their best to make it work, because if it doesn't, then that's all she wrote. And some directors aren't as fortunate as others. Some get many chances, some it might be their last. And film is no way, shape, or form anything that should be taken advantage of, because it's such a blessing to be able to do that and become a part of something so grand. I know along with the title in this day and time, it's hard to get anything original for the audience to be excited about and want to see, but jumping on the bandwagon isn't going to help matters either. And right now, all the sequels and reboots are trending, but in time that's going to be just a phase. People look back and realize that the originality in Hollywood or behind a camera is pretty much gone now. And another thing with low budget films is they strive to do their best and bring out something that's new and creative, something we haven't seen 1,000 times. And that to me is very inspiring. And if you can be bold enough to stand out on your own, then maybe someone actually in the audience will love it. It might not be as known or as popular, but at least it'll be remembered as a great film. That's what it's supposed to be about anyway. It's not supposed to be a crash grab or just for the sake of being in the moment. You don't want the movie to be in the moment. You want it to be forever, something that someone can always come back to and want to see again and again and again. Honestly, a lot of people ask where's the originality, but yet when something original does come along, no one goes to see it. So if you take the time and actually pay homage to someone going their own way, despite it not being the popular thing to do, then I think we will get more original films and not so much of sequels and reboots, because it's the money that draws in the attention for the sequels. I mean, it is very important that the film and the final product does get good profit, so if it doesn't do good, hopefully they'll learn and look at what they've done and hopefully try to do better next time if they're given that chance. And I'm hoping as an audience, the majority of the people that crave big action scenes, it's fine, but I hope they also understand that a film is nothing without its story, and at its core, that's what it really needs. Make the action or suspense or comedy really hit and serve its purpose. Film is and always has been a very important part of my life, as well as many others, and I hope that one day, in today's time, we'll be able to see a classic again.